Hello?
All right, hold the line. We're getting started, okay?
Rafik, I'm gonna see you tonight or no?
When people don't know what you've been through, they don't understand your praise. When they don't know what you have sacrificed, those late nights when you wanted to quit, I'm talking to somebody, those times when you were crying saying, I can't make it, you have a reason to celebrate. And let me tell you, with everybody trying to stop your shine, you cannot be stopped. And I'm going to quote the famous lines of the ubiquitous Sean P. Diddy Combs, can't stop, won't stop.
Good night, Unstoppable family. How is everybody doing tonight? It is Wednesday night, and that simply means it is time for another awesome Unstoppable Live program. Now, first of all, let me apologize for my tardiness. It was something out of my hands, out of my control. Showtime, hit go live. Producer said, "Yo, we have a glitch." First, the show wasn't going to Facebook, and I was like, wait there, what go on, right? Then them did have to get Facebook rectified. Then, think everything good, then the show wasn't going to YouTube. Then we had to get that rectified, and that is why, you know, we're actually 14 minutes behind showtime. But nonetheless, you know, the show would have to go on no matter what, right? So, despite the devil trying to slow it down a little bit, we are shoot forward to the finish line nonetheless. Alright? And I'm going to tell you this. Kitty number 2, she there yet? Is Kitty here as yet? Kitty number 2 call me today, and Kitty number 2 rough me up. Wicked people. Me I tell you no. Kitty say unstoppable. Me tell you this. You come on late Friday night, right? We give you a blind. Then, you go make announcement say, show postponed on Monday. That now go work, Unstoppable. We are marked that down in the black book, right? So, me get my warning. I get my warning, and people, me take note, right? It's well noted. Now, welcome to everybody who's here. If you're on Facebook, share out the stream. Quick, fast, and hurry for me. Share it to all groups, as much groups as possible that you can share the stream out to. Please do that for me because it is very important. And Facebook, you know I make YouTube a beat on you know. Every night you make YouTube beat on you. You know why? Because as soon as the show start, YouTube goes up, boom, and the numbers shoot off. Right now we have over 200 people already in the first 5 minutes on YouTube. Facebook, you're stuck at 70. So Facebook, come on, the competition need to start up, right? Facebook, share out the stream and get the numbers rising, all right? On YouTube and Facebook, as a matter of fact, if you haven't invited a friend yet, share it out to a WhatsApp contact and say, listen, Unstoppable is on, and, you know, this is the program you need for watch. Also, Facebook, remember, hit off the thumbs up button and just keep it flowing. YouTube do the same thing too. I may have to big up Flavia. If Flavia is here as yet, Flavia say, Unstoppable, please remind the people them to hit the like button as soon as them come on. Because, you know, some of we don't really know how to do it. But me, Unstoppable, once the show start, me make sure say, hit the like button the very first thing. And then just go up on the chat and relax and wait on the show to start. So if you know you're not hit the like button yet, go over right now and click the like button. All you have to do is click the X on the chat and then hit the like button and then open back the chat and come right back. You don't have to come off of the live at all, so you don't miss nothing. Alright, so if you don't share, big up yourself. Thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of persons in the comment section saying, Unstoppable, I have shared. Alright, much love to you. Alright, now we have a guest with us tonight who she is the stepsister of a previous caller. Right? Now, one thing I'm going to say first of all is this, that we always say it. There's three sides to every story, right? The first caller has his version of events, and tonight's caller has her version of events. Not saying that the first caller lied, and I'm not saying that tonight's guest is going to be lying either, but they both have their version of events, and she's here tonight to share her version, right? So we're going to take a look at what tonight's topic is, and it says, I heard my stepbrother telling all lies on the show, but I'm here with the truth. I remember it like it was yesterday. All right? So we're going to hear what she has to say tonight, but before we introduce the caller tonight, I'm going to play a short version of just to give a reminder of what her stepbrother had said, right? So persons will remember exactly which show it is, right? And you know, we can follow along once I invite the guest to tonight's program. So let's take a listen to that.
Things starting to change up for the worse, because now our mother was left back in Jamaica, and now we living with our stepmother and her three kids. She had a little baby for my father, a little boy. So then her three kids and him, which is four of them, and plus four of us. Yeah, four of us. So it was 8 of us in the house as kids. So the mother, she started to tell my father that the kid, my sisters and them is being rude or disrespectful or whatever. And she feel like my mother in Jamaica is sending a letter to them telling them how to disrespect her, when to disrespect her, which my mother never did that. Every time when we call her or she calls us, she will always say, make sure to respect the stepmother and be kind and be nice, because if ever she signed paper on the America, because your father couldn't do it by himself. So she always tell us that. So we're not going to tell her lies, say, my mother this and she always tell us that when she calls. But this woman, she just have her way of telling my father things, and my father act out on it. So now, I remember one day, when the beating just started, one day, my father, I don't know what happened when my sister did something. So she tell my father my sister did something, and my father come home. That sister is the one, me and I was living in Kingston, and we really love her most because we grew up together, and I always look out for her, and she look out for me. So that day, she was saying the guy, my father said something, said the stepmother said something, so she said, and she never like it, but my father started to beat my sister, yo. She started to beat my sister wicked. Like, you can't even see when the girl that kick up her foot them in her ear, and you can't even see her panty and them something. And it just grieved my spirit, yo, because growing up in Jamaica all these years, we go through all the toughness. I would never have no father around us like that. I know, so we just come a foreign. And this woman, I tell her things, I beat the girl like that. You beat the girl left, you beat her right, you beat her with it's a broomstick, you beat her with a what they call it, a pickaxe stick. Sorry, I don't know where she get that, where we get that pickaxe stick from having a house, but it was very short after that before me start getting to. But anyway, while the man I beat her, and I beat her, it's out there, and I beat her, and I beat her. Me get mad and me say something. Me say, stop beat the girl no man, and like we just, couldn't take it no more. And the man stop beat the girl and start beat me. The man give me so rotten lick that day there. I feel like ask, what me do? And nobody now said, man, stop being depicting them like that. Stop this and stop that. The man give me some, me and my sister get the first full blow beating. So, right after that, my other big sister get her first beating. I feel her beating was even more wicked that compared to for me and my other little sister. Because he beat her, because he claimed that she had a ringleader, where I encourage my other little sister them to be rude and disrespectful or whatever. So he beat her, and he said I said the letters them to my mother, and it's just she had a ringleader, so she get a full beating. And I said, before she ended up beating my sister, my next sister, the day after him beating me, and beat my next little sister. Remember the night I go to work, and me get so cross because I say, if we not stop this man from beating the little sister, I beat way up in our house. We not gonna live long. I start remember one of my cousin back home when they chop up his father for beating his mother. And it was a good woman and stuff like that, but it was just wrong for him always. But anyway, we started thinking about all of that. And I said to myself, say, look, I see me, I have to put my foot down and do something like this now. Right? So, it's like, we did it. I think, what me I gonna do? And I go to the kitchen, and I take out one kitchen knife. One big kitchen knife for my stepmother always have in the kitchen. And the man in their room asleep. I'm going in a room and stand up over him with a knife. Stand up over him with a knife, and me start think all these crazy stuff, and I say, what me I go do now? Me don't want to go to prison and stuff, but it come like say if me not do it, we have a dead in our house or whatever, because whenever I'm beat with, the first thing him tell me say, yo, you don't want to call 911, you don't want to call the police, call the police. Call the police, because if they don't think that the police are going to take we go to jail, one of them are going to take where they're going to take on our way and bring it through social service, and they're going to put it through the system, and now going to go from foster home to foster home. So he was beating and he was brainwashing us at the same time and putting fear in us as far as once they get in the butt whip, don't think they're going to call 911 because we're not going to be here anymore.
All right, so now we have a reminder. We get a reminder of what tonight's topic is all about, and that's what the stepsister is here to address tonight. So right now I'm going to introduce tonight's guest to the program, but before I introduce her, you know how we run this show. We do not do disrespect in the comment section. We do not do name calling. So you will not call my guest tonight by any names like fool, dummy, jackass, dunce, idiot, yamed, nothing like that, or else you will be blocked by one of my moderators. You are free to share your opinion in the comment section. You are free to mingle, but as long as you do it in a respectful manner, everything good. So with that said, let me introduce the caller to tonight's program. Caller, good night. How are you?
Good night. How are you?
I am great, and thank you so much for coming on tonight and discussing this topic with me.
No problem. No
Now,
problem at all.
I know you had previously listened to the program, right? And
Yes, I did.
you heard most of what I played just now already, right?
Right, because I told you, I went back just to make sure. Because I told you the first time I listened to it, I couldn't clearly listen to the whole thing because it was boiling my spirit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it up on myself and I went back and I listened to the first half and the second half of it.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do right now, and as you heard me mention earlier, it is not about, well, not mention earlier, but you and I had this conversation where I told you that it's not about bashing each other. So you're not here to
Right,
bash
yeah.
your stepbrother, or you're not here to cuss anybody. And I have spoken to you and you speak very eloquently, I must add. So, so
Thank you.
I'm going to give you the platform right now for you to share your version of events, and I'm just going to sit back and listen along with the viewers. And where I feel the need to ask you a question, I will jump in and ask a question, all right? Now, 30 minutes,
Right.
30 minutes within the show, I will give you a water break so that I could do the shout outs and the thank yous and pay the credits, and then I'll come right back to you, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Go right ahead.
So I'm gonna start off by saying, like I said before, I realized after listening last night, I realized that I don't know, maybe he came on the show just to talk about like, him being molested at a younger age and those things, and maybe that's where the story was supposed to, carry on from, and he decided to continue and tell the rest of the story about his life. Now, he was one of my closest brothers in the house, like siblings in the house. So I'm not here to either discredit what happened to him because what happened to him before he came to Kingston, I have no, no say so on. If he was molested and those things happened to him, I wish him the best and I hope he's able to work through that and it don't, cause any kind of confliction or harm to him in his future life. But that part I can't speak on. The only part I can honestly speak on is when he came to Kingston and then after he came to America and the parts that he added about my mother and my side of the family. Now, two things when he first started the story I wanted to remind y'all that he was talking about because I think after he got so deep in the story people started to forget of those two things that he started out talking about in the story where he said when he was in Kingston and when the father had left and went to town or whatever to say to my come foreign, him him and his sister used to fight with the people that were used to living in the town and it didn't matter problems them that fight over. But you never once hear him say the mother intervened in any of the fighting or any of those things. So and when he was between the age of 10 and I say 10 and 13, him a walk run with cutlass and all them things there with him. Him and his sister never did a go school. So because them never did a go school, well, them not go school, but them never did go school as much. So, it ended up happening so that my mom, by the time my mother and his father got married and then started getting ready to file for us, his sister, the one that he said he's closer in age, had ended up writing her father a letter telling him that, they walking how many miles to school and all these things. So at the time, my mother had in Jamaica three of us, my older sister, me, and my older brother. Now, when they was getting ready to do the paperwork and thing, he told her that, she can't file for her kids and him not bring some of his kids. So they end up filing, he ended up doing four of his and two of hers. So at the time though, when they came to Kingston, they had came up a year early because he said in your thing that he came up a couple years early and went to, they didn't come up a couple years early. It was only a year before that because their father came down and that was the year when he went to go bring them up was the same year that we met him. But he came to the house and seen us first and my mom introduced him to us as daddy. So us being young and naive as kids in Jamaica, you're not, we my grandmother was is full Christian, so you're not gonna call your mother man or your mother man or none of them something there. A daddy we call him a daddy, we know him as a daddy. We just say. So when he went and got him and his sister, he brought up the two of them at first, and they came. His sister, that was probably at the time two about maybe a couple years. She was about maybe 15 at the time. She came up, and me and my older sister at the time we was close, but we wasn't as close as how me and his sisters was. Because when she came, like I said, like I can't bash him on here because we had the relationship that we had before we even got to New York. We were close. All of us was close. Even though when he said he came, he was surprised that if I say step and stepsister slept in the same room. Me sister. We slept in the same bed. Every country story me hear from Rolling Calf and all those things I learned from her. So the relationship with me and our Bill when we was in Kingston for that year, everybody. So then when it came time for us to leave, a couple, I
Uh,
heard him say that.
all right, something is up. I noticed it saying you're muting your call, so check to make sure it's not touching your face or something.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Much better. All right.
Okay. So when they came up from country at the first time, like I said, I don't know if you heard the part about, his dad, like how we knew him, it was daddy. We didn't know him as no stepfather, so we never called him stepdad or
Mm-hmm.
mother man or none of those things. It was
Mm-hmm.
daddy for us. Cause like I said, my grandmother church going, so we wasn't going to talk to no older adult like calling them by their name or none of those things. So anyway, long story short, I also heard him say that when he came, he ended up back in school and he was going to first and third grade and he had to learn how to read through a Bible and all these things. Remind you, by the time he came to Stony Hill, he's about 17 years old, 16, yeah, 17. Oh, yeah, 17 or six, no, about 16. So they wasn't gonna put him in no grade that far back. He ended up going to a trade school, my brother, where they was doing electrician and stuff at the time. But because my brother wasn't coming, he was too old at the time to come to America with us. He ended up staying and end up we all end up coming. So the sister that he talked about that he said wasn't his father's daughter, but she ended up coming. She came up probably like a week before it was time for us to come to America. So when they introduced me and her, that's the one I was the most closest to because that one I was 9 at the time and she was 10, and then my sister and his other sister, the one he said he closer in age, because my oldest sister and him at the time was the same age. They're like a couple months apart. They was about 17 at the time, and his other sister and my sister were more like closer in age, so they kind of had their little bond. So when it was time for us to come now, me and the 10-year-old, we were closer. So he didn't spend much time there. Now the incident that he talked about with my grandmother stabbing him for the dasheen, like I said, when we finally got the video, everybody from me, my brother, my sister, my aunt, everybody that was close in the family, we literally sit down and we listen back to all of the things. And my grandmother come from Portland, so and she, like you said, she don't eat that sheen, so she don't remember friend of that sheen for him go eat and go take out her pot, and she don't remember not about stabbing him and for the take for the food. But like you said, there's two sides to every story. That story, me not remember, so we can't to comment on that. But anyway, when we came to America now, like he said, we came and him saying never have no shoes and all these things, but my brother was the one who gave him the pair of shoes that he wore to America. And on top of that, he spoke about one of the incidents he talked about that I remember clearly was when he had these friends that he said lived next door to him. And him and the friend them one day them outside, they used to be big friends. They was never no just neighbor where you say hi and bye to them, a big friend. I don't know if you remember back in the day in Jamaica when little boy them I used to friend them used to make them look a bird call over the fence and whatnot. I did them big friend them, and one day them outside a fixed bicycle, them catch up in an argument, and the friend had a ice pick and him pull out the ice pick and almost stab out him eye. And my brother, my grandmother, and my uncle rush out of the gate for go grab him up and bring him in the yard. And I said, them can't make nothing happen to him. My country, I come from my God foreign next year. So them can't make nothing happen to them. Can't get none of fight. And the two of them was like, them try as much as they could to keep them separated until them, cause it was a brother in between the two of them. So the brother kind of like tried to get them to like squash the little problem that they did have until eventually right before we left them become cool and it did done this. So when we came to America, it wasn't 9 of us. Like I said, only 3 of them was there. It was myself, my older sister, because my older brother couldn't come at the time, him, his sister that was close in age, and the younger one. And one of the oldest sister did end up coming because at the time she didn't come and live with us in Kingston, but she did come and visit because her and my mother had she had a son, and my mother had my little brother that she has for his father. They are born almost, I think, the same year. So when she came, there was no animosity at the time between her and my mother. His sister was really close to her mother because she's the mother, like not the oldest one, but I think the second oldest daughter. So they had a relationship already. So now, looking back and as you get older, you learn things and you realize, they she was her mother's child, but at the time she didn't have no issue with my mother before we came to America. When we came to America, that was when we finally got to, like, know his father and like seeing him in a different light. Cause now we here and we got there and we come and we see, and big house, like he said. The first Christmas, it was the first because it was Thanksgiving, because we came in '99 of October. The first Thanksgiving, big, lavadocious. Like you can't ask for no more food, and you can't ask for a better setup. And his family was there. My mother's side of family came, and my mother, she had this style. Like when it's Thanksgiving time, she want to play music, she want to dance, and she want everybody to feel like they welcome. When we first got there, we got everything from gifts to, if my mother could put me and my the sister that was closer in age, and everything we had was matching. If I got a pink doll, she got a blue one. If I got a blue one, she got a pink one. So that first year, and he never mentioned the fact that the first year that we came here, when we came here, his father wasn't working. His father was out of work for that first year. So everything that was being taken care of was being taken care of by my mother. And she knew at the end of the day, like before they even got there, she know the relationship that they had with their mother. She know how they was. So it wasn't, she never came at it like she was trying to replace nobody or trying to make them feel any form of uncomfortable. The what was it? So Thanksgiving, Christmas, everybody good. His father used to have this style. I'm not even going. He was a hard man. I'm not going to lie to you, because he was a typical Jamaican, and when it comes to getting beaten and all them things, the man did not play. Now the constant beating when that talk about, it didn't happen. When we got there, everybody had their chores and the things that they had to do. Him being the only boy child in the house at the time, I remind you, I said he came to America when he was about 17. So the schooling period of time that he would have had to say go back to high school or anything like that, he didn't have much time. You understand what I'm saying? So it was either the option he had was to go to take GED, him, his oldest sister, and my sister at the time. They could go get their GED, and it was night school. He didn't too like it at the time, so they end up putting him in this high school. I forgot. I think it was somewhere in, I want to say Manhattan at the time, but he ended up going to a high school where that's where he talked about him doing the play and doing Macbeth. He did do that, and we did go see him and everything at the time. But before that had happened, before he ended up going to school, he said his father used to keep him in the basement and have him down there working all morning, noon, and night. His father did have him down there in the basement. I'm not going to take that from him. He did have him down there in the basement. And my mom was his scapegoat for, like, when he would come out of the basement, she would carry him go places with him. And like I said, my mom was like a happy-go-lucky kind of person. So if y'all come go anywhere with her, she gonna play her music and she gonna want you to enjoy yourself to that extent. So he did have all those experiences with my mother, but he never once say how, most of the time, when my mom used to be off work on Wednesdays, and when Wednesday come, everybody knows them have to go outside and take out garbage. 'Cause I don't know if you know much about Brooklyn, but you have to separate the garbage. And I remember we was the owner of the building that we live in, so you have to separate the people that will live upstairs on the second floor. You got to separate everybody garbage. And him used to go out there at night time, and him would go out there, and me and the little sister and the other one, we used to go out there and help him all the time. Him used to have to like wipe down the banister them in the hallway because his father didn't play. And he used to have to go do that, and we would go out there and help him. Yeah, he didn't get to experience, like, him being 17 and him want to run road and him want to do all these things because, like he said, him come from where him there Jamaica and when dance and keep him one God dance and him something there. Him never did have too much of that access. But it wasn't like the beating and all them something that did prevent him from doing that. Him father just never did too like we forgot nowhere. The year we literally only lived in that house for about we lived upstairs in that house for about 2 years. And his father used to have a style where he used to say like anything you eat, anything you take up to eat, you better make sure you can't eat it all. So you're not throwing the food in the house. 'Cause if you throw the food, it's gonna beat you. And he did used to tell us all the time, like if we get beaten and him decide and we decide to go pick up phone and call police, them are gonna come to it and then we're not gonna have nowhere to live. We're gonna live in a foster home and all these things. But to me, as I got older, I realized that was like typical things to hear. People, used to try to put fear in their kids to not call the cops when they're beating you. He had this stick that he claimed that his father used to beat him and his sister them with. The stick, I'm going to tell you clearly, was called a hickory stick. And if you want to look this stick up, there's no physical way you can slap anybody with the stick a couple times and don't break a bone. Guarantee you are guaranteed to break a bone. And him claim say him father never broke no bone pan him or him older sister them, but he did break his little sister bone, which was a lie because like I said, me and her was closer in age. And every beating where kinda trigger in the house where him kinda say, okay, it felt like everybody was kinda taking sides at the time was based off of me and her because remember so we're the youngest one in the house and we 1 minute we happy and the next minute we are fight. And anytime me and her would get into a fight, the two older sister now, them they decide to take sides. Because if I would hit his sister too hard, the sister that I was the closest to, she would pick up for our sister. Then my sister would pick up for me. So one time he talks about a beating where he said him never know how the sister get the beating. That beating now happened because one day me and the younger sister in the house and we're playing.
Let me
And
slow
the
down.
playing
Let me
left
slow
from
you down
playing
for
to
a minute.
fighting.
Let me slow you down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you did mention a part where you said sister get beaten and foot broke or something like that. You said that, right?
Right.
No.
No, it wasn't. No, I said when her foot broke, it wasn't from no beating.
So you're saying that she did get her foot broken, but it
Her
wasn't from her father beating her.
no, it
So
wasn't from no beating.
how did the sister
Her
get her foot broken?
So we used to have, like you know, we used to have the bunk beds in the apartment because it was like one of them long. I don't know if you know about them long apartments, long hallway apartments in New York. So there was, like he said, it was a bunk bed in one room for him, his sister, him and his the two sisters, and then me and the younger sister slept on one bed, and my older sister slept on the bunk bed below us. Me and her used to, like I said, we used to be playing around all the time, and she fell off the bunk bed and broke her ankle.
Mm.
So when she broke her ankle, that's how her foot broke. That man never hit that child with no pickaxe stick. It was a hickory stick, and he never put that stick to that little girl. Never. The only harsh, you can say, yeah, not gonna say beating, harsh punishment he gave her was when we first got there. You know, at the time she was hard of hearing. Nobody knew she was hard of hearing until we got there because my mom took me, her, and the other two sisters to go get hearing tests and all those things done when we first got to New York. And they came to find out that she couldn't hear in one of her ears. So my mom took her there and found out, all right, so they was gonna have to get her a hearing aid and all these things. My mom was the one who went pay for hearing aid, buy sign language book. Right now, he could tell you himself, his sister even come back and thank my mom for it after the fact. Said, you know, like if it wasn't for my mother, she would never even know how to do the things that she know how to do. My mom bought her first sign language book. So the whole broken foot with hickory stick, that did not happen. Her father, she go to school one day, and her father, she go to no, she went to school, and her and the teacher, she was in the class, and this little girl was bothering her. And because the little girl was bothering her, she kept telling the teacher, and the teacher wasn't paying her no attention. She get mad from the teacher and walk up to the teacher and grab the teacher in her throat. So when she do that, no, them call her father, and him couldn't. He was at work at the time, so he couldn't leave work to come see her. So the brother had to come pick her up because, like I said at the time, it wasn't in school. So he was able to pick her up and bring her home. When he brought her home that day, her father took her in the basement and tied her up her hand around, like you know, like how he said they was fixing up the basement. There was beams in the basement. And they make her sit down and tie up her hand around the beam. And when I go downstairs to go check on her, I tell me, I have to go back upstairs. I couldn't talk to her for the whole day. And it wasn't until my mom probably got off work about 5, 6 o'clock before she go down there and tell him, say, can't do that to the pitney. I have to untie her and carry her back upstairs.
All right. Now, I just have to say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Majority of what you have said since you have started to speak is basically the same thing that he shared on the platform, you know. When I listen, it's basically like in a sense you confirmed the things that he said, but it's more like you're saying these things happened but not to the extreme extent that he said it happened. Because that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. You know, because basically everything that you spoke about, he said actually happened, and you actually confirmed it just now. No.
Yes, confirm the situations that occurred, not how he made it seem as if there were actual abuse going on in the house. No, there was beatings for when you didn't do what you were supposed to do, but actual abuse, it was never to that extent.
No.
Is what I'm trying to
Repeat
explain
the
to you.
last part you spoke of for me when you said his sister got tied to the beam.
in the basement, right?
Who you said
That
tied the
that's what I
sister
said.
up? Who you said tied the sister up?
The father did.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. I'm explaining to you his idea of punishment. Like I said, I don't understand why he did the things that he did when he did it. He did what he did to her, and that was one of the things that when it came to like putting his hands on them, his father, you couldn't speak to that man. That's why I said I'm not here to say that his father might have not, made him feel any kind of way, but he never. It was never based on nothing that my mother put in his head to abuse his sisters or put in his head for him to treat them this kind of way. And
Well,
it was never a constant thing. That he did was the most. I'm trying to explain to you that that was the most extensive thing that he did in the house. As far as you would say, okay, yeah, yeah, you're moving into child abuse lane. You
all right.
understand what I'm saying?
One of the other things that he did say on the program that I can remember specifically, in which you addressed it earlier too, where you said that when they just got there, that Christmas was great, it was exciting, and he did speak on that part where he
Right.
said that was the best Christmas, because he wake up all excited and the Christmas tree was stacked with gifts and everything, and he was happy. But then he went into saying the coming year was when everything changed for the worse,
Right. But
right?
that's what I'm trying to explain to you. There
Right.
was never no coming year where everything changed for the worse because everything that changed for the worse was based on the behaviors that was happening in the house. It wasn't like all of a sudden my mother was putting a bug in his father's ear to say, okay, your kid's not doing this right and they acting up. So sister getting beaten left and right, brother getting
But
beaten left and right.
the thing
None of this
is,
was taking place,
but
is what I'm saying to
But
you.
if I remember correctly, and viewers, please tell me if I'm wrong. And you listen to the program too, so if I'm wrong, you can tell me as well. Um,
Right.
I'm trying to remember if he actually, because I don't think he ever was blaming his stepmother. I
He
don't.
did. He did. I made sure I went back and I listened because even I was reading some of the comments.
Mm-hmm,
Mostly the comments that your viewers was mentioning on the
mm-hmm.
story was, stepmother, convincing father to be, like he even said, his father was easily manipulated by my mother, and the fact that my sister had key around her neck and
Right,
hiding
we're
food
gonna get to
from
that part.
them.
We're gonna get to that part shortly.
Right.
We're gonna get to that part shortly. But what I'm saying is, he did mention that your mother, I should say, which is his stepmother, was his
Mhm.
escape a lot of times. He did mention that she was the
Right.
one
So
who
then for
got
you
him
to
to
mention
escape.
that and then turn around and say that your escape was also the reason being for why your sisters and you were being abused. That was what he said in your show. He said when his sisters was getting beaten, it was like my mother was putting things in his father's ears to say, okay, well, this one is acting up and this one is doing this. Where most of the time any beating that happened in the house was more so, and he said in your thing, he said me and my sisters never got any beaten. And like I said, me and the youngest sister were close in age. And every time, every foolishness that we did, we got beaten together. Other than the one incident what she did when she first came here, other than that, every beating that happened in that house, it was me and her. Or his younger the sister that was closer in age with him because at the time, the older one, he beat her. The only time he ever beat her was the one time when he came in the house and her and my mother was going back and forth all day in the house and she didn't want to do nothing my mother said. And when my mother called him and told him at work what was going on, he told her, all right, don't say nothing to her. When he came home that day, he came home, he put all of us in one room because he closed how our house is set up. It was a door to the bedroom and a door to the back room and then the backyard. And he came in the house, he locked up everybody in the room, tell nobody we couldn't come out in the hallway and say nothing. And when like I said, when I was listening to him, like I said, I did not deny the fact that his father was a hard man. When it came to punishment and beating, he used to do some wicked things at times. What I'm here to speak on is the fact that none of these things was initiated by my mother
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. And if he would have spoke on the fact and said, okay, yeah, his father was abusive, but he had an escape to say, okay, like he said, he never had nobody to talk to, which was also a lie because our uncles was there, my aunt was there. It was a lot of people that coming through that house throughout the week that was always there. Holidays and days when we didn't have nothing to do, he had people he could speak to. His biggest thing at the time was when he was younger, he couldn't move around and do all the things that he wanted to do. And as he got a job, he told y'all he was able to go out and do certain things. He just didn't like how his father treated him. The one morning that he got up and he decided to, okay, I'm tired, so I'm going to stay in a bed and rest. And him father take up the stick and hit him with it, and them get in a war and end up go outside and say, I'm going to pick up stone and lick. Most of the stories was exaggerated, is what I'm trying to say. Even the story when him end up beat the sister. When him beat the sister, that same day he beat his older sister for disrespecting my mother. Everybody in that house that day cried because that was the one beating I said I never forgot in my life, because I never seen or heard nobody beat nobody like that in my life. Because the man closed off the door and he didn't beat her. He fought her like there was two grown people outside in that hall. He talked about when the other sister him come home today and the other sister did not get her beaten, and him go there for God said, Daddy, why y'all beat her? And the same day, that fight, that beating that he was talking about was the day that me and the sister got into an argument. Me and the younger one was playing and we turned into a fight, and the other two sisters decided they wanted to defend their sister. And her and my older sister got into a fight. She slapped my sister in the face with a basin, bust up my sister's face, and when her father got called, he came home, and because one was more severe than the other, him decided to him gonna beat him daughter. When him go beat her, him he jumped in the fight to say, all right, Daddy, why y'all lick her so much? My mother even tried to break up the fight. He pushed my mother out the way. So when it came to disciplining, he was just a harsh man to begin with. So like I said, I'm not taking away from the fact of what he experienced. I'm taking away from the fact that he's using that idea to say, okay, he was being manipulated, and when his mother used to call, his mother used to tell him never to disrespect my mother. There was no such thing. There was letters. There's actual proven letters where the lady used to write and tell them certain things.
All
And
right.
the older sister used to say to my mother.
All right, hold that, stick a pin right there, Carla. We're actually past the 30-minute mark. We've actually been streaming now for 41 minutes. So take a little water break while I pay the credits, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit about more about that, because, like I said, we have a lot more that we need to get into, and we're
No
gonna come
problem.
right back. All right.
All right.
All right, so viewers, listen. Like I said, it is not about the stepsister coming here to bash him, or that's not what tonight's program is all about. Like I said, she's sharing her version of the events, right? And not that he lied and not that she is lying, but they both have their own versions, right? So we're gonna continue because, like I said, there's more that she has to address, and there's one specific point where I definitely have to ask her about. I'm sure so the whole on want to hear about that point there too. So we're gonna get to that. Now, before I get to that, welcome to all the new viewers here. If you're on Facebook, I see you're doing a little bit better tonight. Little bit better, but you can do even better because YouTube still a beat to know. So Facebook, make sure you share out the stream, keep sharing and keep the numbers rising. Now, welcome to all the new viewers. If you're here on Facebook and you're new, jump in the comment section and introduce yourself and say welcome, and say I'm new here, and let the regulars welcome you to the program. YouTube, do the same thing. If you're new here, jump in the comment section and say I'm new, and let the regulars welcome you to the Unstoppable Live show. Remember, tonight's program is brought to you by none other than Inner Circle Loans, located in Nassau, Bahamas. If you are in the Bahamas and you're short on cash, you can reach out to them and they can get you cash in a hurry. And how you reach out to Inner Circle Loans, it's 242-814-5626. You can reach out to them via WhatsApp, or you can contact them straight. All right. And I also want to big up Flavia Austin in the building tonight. All right. Flavia got a lot of people reach out to her from the business promo show we do the other night. So Flavia is doing an awesome job right now with our juices, so no need to go check out Flavia's juices. Alright, and big up to all of the people who contacted Flavia and get to know juices ordered already. Alright, Flavia have a whole heap more orders. Forget, so you contact Flavia in a hurry. I want to say thank you to the persons who have contributed to the show so far. I want to say thank you to Jacqueline Chung, sending in a super chat contribution. Kerisha McLean, thank you. Lola, thank you so much. Flavia Austin, thank you so much for your super chat contribution. And Flavia also sent in a ZELLE contribution as well. Thank you, Flavia. I want to say thank you to Merville, sent in a PayPal contribution. And Lisa K, thank you so much for your Cash App contribution. If you wish to contribute to the program, there are many ways in which you could do so. Super Chat, Cash App, ZELLE, PayPal, everywhere is an option. All right, with that said, let's get back to the show and continue with the callers. All right, with the guest. So where did we leave off? You were speaking on um. Let's start it off with this, cause it's burning me to ask you. It's burning me to
No
ask you
problem.
this
You
question.
kind of breaking up right now. Hello?
You can hear me?
Hello? Yeah, but it's like breaking up a little bit, but I'm hearing you.
All right, great. What I want to ask you is this, and everybody in the comment section wants to know about this locking up the fridge thing and your sister, or was it you who had a key around the neck after the fridge was locked? Tell us about that part.
Okay. So there was never no lock on any fridge. My sister was, like I said, the older sister and his father were close. Like, his younger sister and my mother, they took to each other because she used to watch my little brother. That's who used to comb his hair, bathe him, and all these things. So my sister, the older one, her and him and his dad and her, he used to give her like she had the keys to the front house, to the front of the house, the back, the basement, everything. Like she had the keys to the whole building. It was never no keys on the fridge. I don't know if you know about them little gates that they put up in your house when you have kids. The little gates you put to section off doorways and bathrooms and those things.
Mm-hmm.
Those was the only things that was protected in the house. There was no lock on the fridge. Like I said, the man used to say, if you take it out and you eat it, make sure so you eat it half. Because if you don't, there was going to be trouble if you didn't eat it. There was never no lock on no fridge. My sister never had no key around her neck for no fridge, none tall.
Mm.
So
So,
that I don't know where he created that illusion from about her having key around her neck. Because like he said, my mom used to carry them. He used to go to Costco's and all these places and buy food and put in the fridge. We used to have boxes of cereal. I didn't know that there was single boxes of Frosted Flakes until I was able to go out on my own and buy stuff because we always had the big double boxes of Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops and all those stuff. And me and the younger sister, we used to eat till we full. And when we couldn't eat, we used to take it outside all the way in the backyard and try to dump it behind the tree so he wouldn't see it. So we never had we was never locked off from no form of food.
mm.
Cause like I said, if that was the case, Thanksgiving come, you're not seeing all that food on no table to feed. No, like he said, no 9 kids, and it was not 9 of us. It was 8 of us in the house all together, including my mother and him. And where he said, oh, we used to be separated, where he would treat them like, oh, Fee and Pitney them sit on one side and we in the room with him and daddy this and daddy that. For their 18th birthday, he bought every last one of us a bicycle. And at the time, my sister couldn't ride no bicycle. He used to tell my older sister that she couldn't come ride outside in the front with us until she learned how to ride a bicycle. His 18th birthday, we got pictures of him and my mother and everybody in the living room dancing and having a jolly old time. So if this person was so cruel and wanted y'all to be punished for whatever reason, why was it that she was even taking you with her to go do things? If she was the eye to the fact that your father was abusing your sister and abusing you, and was taking so much out, taking food out of your mouth, why carry you anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Why give you that opportunity to go smoke your cigarette and do all these things for what? What was that going to benefit her for if she was trying to put that kind of image out there for y'all to have?
Mm-hmm.
And like he said, his father wouldn't beat us. Like I told you, I remember one beating. I still to this day I tell my friends about it all the time because I felt like it was sad and funny at the same time because one day he came in the house and me and the sister we in the house playing and we jumping up she jumping off the bunk bed on the side and kicking me and I'm jumping holding on to the crib kicking her and we play fighting in the house and he walked in the house and to see the two of us fighting. He thought we was being serious, but at the time we was playing, so the two of us looked at him and he walked past us and when he walked past us we heard the door close. All we heard was the belt rattling on the back of the door. And then all of a sudden me and her took flight out in the hallway and run all the way up to the third floor. And the man walked from the first floor all the way to the third floor. And we realized we reached up there was nowhere else to go because the people them door was closed. And the man beat us upstairs until we got back. And we ran past him and got downstairs. And we got in the house, we still got another beating. So anytime the beating happened, we got them beatings together, me and her. There was never no beating where, oh, sister, I get beaten for nothing. This and sister, yeah, I get beaten for nothing. And people are telling for call child protective services. It was never none of that.
Mm.
His
Now,
father was, yes, I'm not going to deny that his father was, he was serious when it came to the beating, and it was times where he would be in full-fledged argument with his father because he felt like him too big for talk to, him too big for do certain things, and when he got the job and he started working, like I told you, me and him was close. So the fact that he came on the show and was speaking how he was speaking, he was one of the only ones that after we left because it was so funny because we, like I said, we only spent 2 years barely in the house until we moved in the basement. And when we moved into the basement, at the time, my mother never once told us like, oh yeah, her and his father was going through things where he was threatening our lives and whatever, whatever, for why she left. I didn't find out about none of this until I turned 18 years old. My mother didn't make me or my sister believe that this man was less than a good father to us. Even though we knew the things that, the little things that he would do. We never hated that man. We never had no hate in our heart for him whatsoever. We moved in the basement. At the time when we moved in the basement, I thought it was because, they wanted to rent out upstairs so that we was able to have more money and do whatever, until it ended up that one summer, me, my sister, and my little brother, my mom took us upstate to one of her friends, and she like, we there for the summer, we doing whatever, we swimming and having fun, and she come up and she like, y'all like this house? And we like, oh, why? She said she bought the house. So we didn't question it or nothing. Me, my sister, and my younger brother we ended up moving in the house. And I remember asking her when we was younger, like, where he going, where our sister them are going, like, them not coming? And she said no. She never explained to us why nobody was coming. She just said no. That first year we stayed up there. By the following year, my mom was at the time was still working in Jersey and going back and forth to New York and to Niagara Falls where they live now. And he got sick. Their father got sick again. Like he said, oh, they was there and he invited him back and they came back. Remind you at that time, me and them still had a relationship. So I was going there to go see them. Me and him at the time, like I said, we were very close. And in my table, or him couldn't speak to certain girls and do all those things. My brother wasn't ugly. So him never did shy of nobody, of nobody. Him never have the time to speak to certain people and all those things that he claimed that he was so deprived of. That didn't happen to him when we were there.
Tell us about the whole basement thing, because he had mentioned that his father really like was overworking him. He would have to be in the basement for hours working, and it would be him down there for hours and then he would have to go to work and then come back home from work and head down in the basement and working again. And then he did mention that Uno would chip in at times and help, yes, but him say when Uno come, him done the hours already, I do all the work. Tell us about that.
That didn't take place. Like I told you, the first year that we got there, his father wasn't working because he was sick. So they spent a lot of time down there doing the basement. Like he said, most of the time he was down there, he was learning. He was 17. The most he could have did down there at the time was show him how to lay a sheet rock and show him can paint and maybe bring in some stone and them something. And he would be in there down there a couple hours of the day. Because remember, by the time we come home from school 3 o'clock, he used to have to pick up me and the sister from school. So by 3 o'clock, you're out of the house to come pick us home, pick us up, walk us back to the house. And yes, some days his father used to call him and make him come back down there and work with him sometime. But he was never there hours on top of hours on top of hours throughout the day. Because by the time then my mom come home, she got to cook, she got to feed us. And he used to have this thing where he used to love watching wrestling. So by the time 6 o'clock reach, him food after ready, he got to eat. And then I sit down in the living room and I watch wrestling with we had them kind of family moments. So you wasn't in no basement where nobody could come talk to you, or you didn't have no time to come do any of those things. And when he started working, the basement was already done. The basement was already done and rented out. So by the time he even got his job and when he was started working at McDonald's and all those things, the basement was done and rented out. You wasn't working in no basement. The most he used to do was help his father maintain the building, which was carry out the garbage, keep the stairway and the hallway and stuff like that clean, because you still lived in his house. And he used to tell him all the time, like he said, when we was younger, he used to tell him, say, well, if we beat with, we can't call 911, we can't call 911 if we want, because them come take away. When he got old enough to start talking back to his father, he used to tell him how him soon gonna come out of him house and all these things. And him say, whenever you're ready for go, you can go. But you're not going to disrespect my wife, you're not going to disrespect me in my house. Most of the time, they argued. They never, because him never used to like us seeing him put him hand pan them in the house. But when it come time when we got disrespectful or we was fighting amongst each other, he hated that. So he was never overworked like that in no house for nobody to be coming and saying, oh yeah, you can't come hang out because I feel bad for you, or the neighbors saying any of that. The neighbors upstairs had 2 daughters. And I definitely remember this like this is yesterday, because they had 2 daughters and a son, and me and the son was in the same grade. The older daughter, he used to like the older daughter, and the older daughter was never checking for him, because at the time, we just came here from Jamaica, and she wasn't checking for him, but the other sister was. And most of the time when my father wasn't, when he was at work or my mother was at work, we on the porch all day long. I don't know if you know about them Brooklyn style life where we sit on stoop from sun out till sundown, especially in the summertime. Every time we used to ride our bike in the summertime, I him used to go up on bicycle and I follow go around block, I go talk to girl and come back. He wasn't living them harsh life.
Now, one of the
Everything
viewers,
that him and his sister did, I used to want to be like them and my older sister because they had all kind of freedom and time to do things.
in the comment section said to ask you a specific question. Raisa says, if your father was sick, right, and
Right.
your brother wasn't always down in the basement working, who actually fixed up the basement?
Him, his father, and his father's brother. He had his father's brother used to come all the time because his father brother used to do construction at the time, and he used to come down there and help them out. And then when he wasn't helping them out, he used to carry us. The uncle that he said at a that used to come and visit, but his father used to tell him all kind of things. That uncle was who used to come and help the father and him fix up the basement.
Mm-hmm.
That's who helped them come and do construction work and most of that. His father was sick, but he wasn't one of them unable type of people. Because like he said, when he moved to Niagara Falls, most of the work that was done in the house, his father did on his own.
Now,
he just couldn't work at the time.
We have gotten to the end of the program, but I want to ask you one question before we let you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your own perspective, how would you say your brother's life was when he came to live with you and your mother and your family? How would you say his life was, in your opinion?
He had a great life. He had a great life because he have came back to my. This is why I said this is why I wanted to be on your show because I'm at loss for words. When they moved upstate to Niagara Falls, just a quick sum up. When they moved upstate, his sister and everybody, like I said, if my mother was so horrible, why is it that everybody lived in the state that she lived in? If she tried so hard to tear your family apart, every one of your brothers and sisters, except for the two oldest, live up there. Now, you came back. He used to come visit the house when we lived there. He was the only brother and sister. His younger, like I said, the youngest one lived with us for at least a while until she went to go live with the other sister. He used to come visit us and say, oh, he used to call her auntie, they used to call her Auntie Marion, and she used to say, you know, you did this some thanks for what you do for me, and if it wasn't for you, you know, coming and making sure so we're all right, and we'll have this and we'll have that, but when they were me there right, no, you moved there, even when he came up and his father left the house for them, my mother didn't fight none of them to take that house. She could have had that house and gave it to my younger brother. Now you have a house in Niagara Falls that when you and your wife need water to fix, my mother is there. So what horrible life did she put forth for y'all so bad that now you sitting here to say that she was the reason for why your father did what he did? No, you never got those type of beatings. That did not happen to you in that house. I'm sorry. What happened to you in Jamaica might have scarred you to bring forth whatever pain and struggle you went through, but not not when we came here. If I would have witnessed that right now, my son, he even said, and one of the things I wanted to clear up that he said before I got off of here, that his brothers and sisters are doing great and we're doing so badly. My brother came here a couple years after. Now my brother owns his house. He has 2 businesses, and my sister is doing fine. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. None of my mother kids are suffering nor struggling.
What is the relationship like between you and your stepbrother now?
At this point, after I messaged him after your show and he had nothing to say about it, like, there is no relationship. Because like I said, me and him was very close. Very close. Like, there was, if I didn't speak, it was me and the other sister, and it was me and him. When he was in New York and I moved upstate and I wanted to come back to New York and hang out, that's who I called. That's who I would go see. So it's like, to you, he was one of the only person that even on Instagram and Facebook when he was, I'm like, yo, what happened to you? Like, you was it. Well, you turned around now, I'm married and all these things. I was expecting for you to be this big jealous and doing all these things. Like, what happened? To turn around and now you went through all these struggles to the point of life where where I consider to be like the best part of my life and our life, because now I have 2 stepkids and the reason I have them is based off the life that I felt that they gave us.
One other thing that I need to ask you though. All right. First of all, he shared what he knows as his experience. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I'm listening.
Right. He shared what he knows to be his experience. You're giving your version of what you know. Now,
Right.
this is the question to you now. How do you know that the things that he shared didn't occur out of your presence while you may have been at school, while you may not have been
Because all
around?
of the stories, and the events that he talked about, I was there for them. There was no event that he mentioned. It wasn't like he said, well, when we went to school, his father used to beat him or do this to him. None of those events happened. None of the things that he spoke about happened out of time where we weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the times did he mention, oh, yes, he said, oh, when he first came for the Christmas and the Thanksgiving, it was such a great time. Okay, talk about the other good times. Talk about the times where, your birthdays and the things that my mom used to take you and my sisters and them to go do. You didn't talk about none of those because you wanted to focus on the fact that your idea, because the things he talked about allowed your viewers to have, because we as people, when we listen to things, we respond to what we hear. Based off what you were saying, it was stepmother put stepmother was the one putting bug in father ear to abuse children.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't abused. If your stepmother was such a horrible person, why be around her? If she was putting bugs in your father's ear to abuse your brothers and sisters, you personally, I'm gonna ask you, if you feel like your stepmother is the cause for why your father is treating your sisters badly, you gonna make it your business to want to be around this person, whether this person is your way to get out or not? Would you have them turn around and go back to this person for help?
I remember now what you had said when we took the water break. Tell us about these specific letters that you said that you mentioned.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You had mentioned earlier about you said there were specific letters that was written. Tell us about those letters.
Right. So there was a letter I told you about the letter that was written when they came to America because he said they came up for whatever reason. There was letters that used to be written to my mom about him and who his stepdad was down there dealing with and how that when he used to go back to Jamaica, he was trying to get back with the mother and he really wanted to bring the mother here and that was the original plan and all these things was for the mother to come with him and the kids. It was never for what happened to happen and for the older sister not to feel no kind of way because eventually they're going to work out things and they're going to be all right. So it left room for the older sister to feel like, well, me not gonna here so long and she never did for the year so with fear pitney them this never did fear go on. And there was, like I said, there was no moments in the house, even the older sister that he talked about, like we all had a relationship other than when, like I said, as kids we was in the house fighting amongst each other because yeah, we wasn't, kids fight. And on top of the fact that here's one half and here's another half, and every time that those moments happen, my mother either made it her business to find a way for all of us to feel like we was one. Remind you, I said his sister was a year older than me. We have pictures of every birthday we celebrating together. My older sister and his younger sister and my older sister. Them three every Christmas, birthdays, all of that. We celebrate together. My mother made it her business for nobody to never ever felt like one was more important than the other.
Mm. All right.
So it's like you painted this picture. That was my issue. If you went through something traumatic and you wanted to talk about your traumatic experience, which was about your molestation, and that you felt like you struggled throughout the time because you and your father didn't have that relationship, is one thing.
When your mother heard his story that he shared, what was her response to that?
She was heartbroken. She was hurt. Like actual tears came to her eye. Like I told you, they were still speaking to each other. When I was going, like I said, I don't live in the state where they live at. I live closer to New York, so New York City. So she was still going up there, and I would hear her call and ask, "Oh yeah, your brother up here, and it's so crazy that he the only one that still come by and visit and tell me like da 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 da, talk to me about his father." And like he said, my youngest brother, he's very sheltered. He keeps to himself because due to the fact that when we all left, everybody split up. He didn't have no older brother, nobody to kind of guide him. It was just me, him, and my sister. So he's very standoffish. But you were still there. My mother used to be watching your dog for you while you go where you going with you and your wife. When you need things done up there or the house watch or something happened, my mother was there. My mother was who you was calling.
Mm.
So
All right.
that's the part that kind of like, you know, when I listen to the first half of your show, like I said, I listened to it and I'm like, okay, if he experiences those things, I don't even. The funny thing is, I never even remember. He never even told us how his finger got chopped off. If I, God strike me if I'm lying. If I can recall, the story that he told us about that finger being chopped off is not the one I heard on your show. But if those was his experience before that, those was his experience. But I'm talking about what happened after we came to America. For him to sit up there and say that right now, you saying you're married and you're happy, you have a house in Niagara Falls, and you have a house in Jamaica with your wife and your son. You talk about all of those things. Okay, how did you end up with that house in Niagara Falls? You didn't made it your business to bash my mother and say, oh, she spent off your father. You knew nothing about that relationship and that money. When your father came back to Niagara Falls, he was sick as a dog. And he ended up out of the house and almost burned the house down because when he got there, he started behaving a certain way. The court put him out the house. Not my mother, not for no man. And she didn't move upstate for no man. She left your father because he started to threaten her kid's life. So she did what she could and took her kids out of a toxic situation. Not for no man and not for no money and not to be gambling away this man money. Because if that's the case, if you have ownership to a house, a partner, ownership to a house, why not keep it and sell it? Why give it to y'all? Why let y'all have it to come fight over?
Did your
For you to
father
even be able to come now and say you own a house in Niagara Falls, a city that you would have never known nothing about had it not been my mother.
did his father ever put him out of the house?
When the morning when he decided that when his father hit him with the stick and he got up and got mad and went outside and was cussing and complaining and he saying he not coming back to his watch it not sit house, that was the day he got put out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your version of events. It's totally appreciated because, like I said, you know, there's always multiple sides to every story. And we're not saying that he lied and we're not saying that you are lying, you know, but it's left up to the viewers right now who's listening to say, well, his version was more believable or your version is more believable. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know what is your truth and he knows what is his truth, right? And for me, I would personally say that listening to him, he basically came on to get what he held as a hurtful situation in his life, a traumatic situation in his life. He wanted to get it off his chest. And that's what he did.
Which was the beginning of the story, right.
I still personally wouldn't say that in which, though you listened to the show, you may look at it from another angle or in another way. But for me, I wouldn't put it whereas he was putting down your mother so much. Because
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna say this. Even at the end, towards the end of the show, you realize he started to go into a rant, and you yourself even cut the rant off because it left from where you're talking about your traumatic experiences to talking about your mother and your stepmother and your father's relationship. It went left.
No,
that's what I'm here to clarify. The fact that, because like I said, I listened to both part of the story. The beginning part of the story, I was able to, feel for him. I was able to understand why he was on the show speaking about what he was speaking about. But it was once you got to the part of your life that was no longer traumatic, why was it that you needed to speak on things that didn't affect you or didn't cause any kind of trauma in your life?
Right.
The trauma was done once you left out of the house. When you chose to go back to stay there for whatever reason, there was no trauma there. There was a whole another 40 minutes of a story that had nothing to do with trauma. It just had to do with airing your own family dirty laundry. That's what that was. And laundry that you was not aware of about because, like you said, you weren't really there for what happened. Your brother told you this, you heard this, and you heard that. Right. You weren't there for any of that.
All right, so we have a caller on the line. Caller, please turn your phone down in the background.
I turn on long time now. What do you do?
All is well, my brother.
Yeah, man. It's just as I say, I listen stepbrother and I'm listening to her, and like she actually confirming what he said. Just that I just said with a different point of view, and I think she's missing the point that, and I don't know. I'm trying to remember if he actually tilted towards saying that her mother was the reason, but I think that's where she's bitter. But in truth and in fact, she's confirming that his father had a temper for him and he was like an abuser. And
Yeah,
and then listen to it.
she didn't deny that. She is saying she
Exactly.
actually said that. She's not denying that his father, you
But
know,
she,
was a
but she
serious
need
man.
to. I don't think. I mean, he might. I mean, doing this is it's the experience and experience to us. It might sound to them like you, and I don't think much bashing her mother, but I mean, she have to understand. I mean, I understand she was there trying to. All I'm hearing from her is she's defending her mother and defending the fact that, you know, yes, it was, but exactly, almost everything you said, she confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, basically, the fact that he was thrown out and he had a rough time. I'm sorry to get the point that it was, you know, saying anything, but I don't think he was trying to allude that the mother was a
But
bad
all right,
person.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but hear what you just said, right? You said about him being thrown out at the house at the time that he thrown him out the house, quote unquote, thrown him out the house, right? He was well over age at the
Right.
time, living in this house,
Hold on for me,
and
Carla. 1 minute. Wayne, you sure you have your, or is it you that have? Which one has the show playing in the background?
Not me, mama. Turn on my.
I'm in a room.
Okay, continue.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah, man.
like you said, his like I never took away from the fact that I said, like I said in the beginning, if he experienced those things that caused him to have those traumatic experiences, I understand that. What he was putting it out there to say, how his father was abusing him to the extent of how he explained it to y'all on the show, was not taking place. And like I said, when the incident happened where his father put his hand on him and told him, after he said what he said to him and how he was disrespecting him, he told him he could leave his house. I don't know about you, but I'm going to just ask, if you have your grown son living in your house, you feeding, you clothing, and all these things, and you ask them to do something or whatever, even though the way he might have responded was not something that today we would look up on, we would frown upon. Now, the way he responded to it might have not been right. But at the end of the day, you're grown. So if I tell you to do something in my house and you don't want to do it, you say you want to leave, you're leaving. So technically, I'm not kicking you out. Once you're of age, there's no technically, you're not really getting kicked out. You're now saying that you big enough to go live on your own. He didn't put him out when he first came here. He didn't put him out when he didn't have nowhere to go and all these things. Like he said on the show, he ended up going to stay with his sisters and friends that he had at the time.
Understand. Point noted, darling. But
And I'm not
saying
saying
that
like, his experience between him and his father was not, dear. And yes, I am defending the idea of what he's calling for the reason for why those things happen to him. That's mostly my main issue. You didn't say on top of it, you didn't speak on a relationship that you and your father had. You spoke on a relationship that was caused by your father due to the fact of your stepmother causing it. Because I don't know if you want to go back and watch. Most of the comments was based on him being his stepmother being a reason for most of his sister and his abuse in that house.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it came, and that's on top of said, and I appreciate that. From his eyes and from your eyes are two different perspectives, and I mean we are not here to say you're lying or he's lying. I mean, understand? It is when I assess it from a third party.
We're going to agree to disagree.
And when I assess a third party, and I mean when I assess the third party, the same story you said is the same thing you're saying, and my only issue is that I can understand where you're coming from. You're saying you don't think, and I mean, you're trying to say, you never see the word for beating and you never see the aggression. I understand. But, I'm going to say, I'm going to give somebody a chance. Nice to be on the show. I'm going to say, I understand. We're not saying that you're wrong or he's wrong. Just like the story I heard from him, you end up.
Right, of course, I understand.
All right, we are blessings. Thanks for calling, my brother.
Every time, brother. Cool.
All righty. All right, so Sean, what go on, my brother?
Go on, brother. Everybody good, everybody all right. I mean, checking in. It's been a minute, but I have to try to squeeze the one because I remember I spoke to the gentleman as well when he called. So I'm going to try to squeeze a little quick one. Is it? Okay, so most of the stuff that he said, his stepsister pretty much confirmed it, right? But, her version and stuff like that, and he has his version, so. A beating to you, not, a beating to one person, seeing it, than the person feeling it. It's not going to be the same. You might not think, boy, it's that bad, but it's still bad to the person who's receiving it. You see what I'm saying? So, in a theme,
I'm listening.
Yeah, so in his world, he had he had the baggage or he had the trauma from the previous situation in Jamaica with the lady that abused him.
Right. Which I
So,
agreed to.
right, so coming into the States now and him father be firm or stern with him still feel like say boy, him a get him still in another cage the where him can't okay, him the American can't explore. So it's just and then with the whole beating slash disciplining or whatever, it's just it's the same. So his version is gonna be different from yours. So not saying that you're wrong and he's right or you're wrong. I'm just saying some of the stuff they make you confirm. And but his version is gonna be different. He is the one who received it. When him father when he came home and him tired and him father said, yo, but you wrote the garbage. I'm like, what pops, me just come in, give me a few minutes, give me a minute. Reel up and think. You know what I mean? I just say go.
Right, but like I said, I understand that, but you hear exactly what you just said. Like whether it was stern or it was just a form of discipline. There's a difference between abuse and discipline. So like you said, whether it came off to him as a form of abuse, whether it was a trauma conflicting from what happened in the beginning to now him having to experience what he experienced. There's a at some point in your life you to heal and understand where you coming from or where you've been through. You have to be able to separate the two. Was I being abused or did I want to go live and do what I wanted to do and I was being stopped from doing that?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There's a different. I can understand what you're saying about someone could get. I could beat somebody's child, and to me it's a regular beating, and to you it might be abuse. That don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That don't take from the experience of the child. But
Right.
I'm saying you being in that situation, what did you take? Like you know what I'm saying? What did you take from that?
Mm-hmm.
Carla, let me say this.
Because you were.
Let me say this. I totally understand where you're getting at, right?
Mm.
And you're not disputing the fact that he went through what he went through. I know the reason why you are here tonight, and it's not to dispute what he said about his life, but mainly to shine another light about your mother. You know, I
And
get that.
the experience that he actually
Mm-hmm.
went through.
You're not Sean, she's not disputing that he went through some form of excessive
But
beating or
but
what. She's not disputing that, right? But she is more saying that, hey, her mother didn't cause those things to happen. Am I right?
Right.
That's basically what she is trying to address, right? So
because he did say that him and her when she got a story, him always go with her because she has
yeah,
sometimes the
he
reason
did.
why.
Yeah, he did mention that she was his escape, from a lot of what was
Right, but
happening.
that's what I'm saying. So for you to say that she's your escape and then turn around, how can the person that helped you escape or feel some kind of safety be the same person that you're then saying is the reason for why your sister and everybody else is being abused? That's why I said there's a fine line between who is abusing you and who is causing your abuse. There's people that actually live in home where stepmothers are actually inflicting them kind of situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you put it in the air that you could be in a house where stepmother is telling stepfather every day, like, yeah, all he do is being disrespectful, talking back, da da da. He not listening to me. So every day your father getting up and beating and beating and beating and beating. That wasn't the situation is what I'm trying to explain. I'm not taking away from the fact that when his father did put his hand on him, maybe it made him feel some type of way. But don't speak on the fact to say, well, he said it a couple of times if you go back and listen where he said he wasn't sure for what reason his sister was getting beaten. He wasn't
Right.
sure for why
Right.
the other sister did what she did and why it went to that extent. All he know was he was sitting there and she would pick up the phone and call and tell that this one is being this kind of way. From the first beating that she watched he did to his daughter where he pushed my mom out the way. Why would this same person that's trying to protect y'all be the reason for y'all to be going through what y'all going through? If that's what you're claiming. Because I'm not going to take away from his experience that he had with his father. Like I said in the beginning, his father was a harsh man when it came to punishment. But nobody in that house, not a stone was left unturned. Nobody was safe from no kind of punishment or no kind of speaking or no stern behavior from him.
Mm.
So it wasn't
Well,
no stepmother against him and his lifestyle or him and his world. He just grew up with a harsh father, and if he felt like growing up because he was under a stern roof, it might have scarred him or might have made him make decisions that he made longer in his life, then I understand that. Speak on that. but don't speak on the fact that that's what caused your trauma. This person ignite the flame to your trauma.
Because remember, he said, his sisters was the one who, because your stepmother loved him, love him. So he remember
Say
himself
that again.
say, remember he said your mom love him. I really the daughters his sisters was the one when they are try. Because then I say your stepmom better look out for him. So it's just that sometimes when my father lick head, then things happen. But boy, rough boy.
It was deep. I know.
My God.
All right, Sean. Blessings, my brother. Thanks for calling. All right.
All right, yeah, man. Have a good night. Good night, caller.
All right, guest. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing with us. It is totally appreciated, and I do hope that at some point you and your stepbrother will actually start speaking again, and you all will get to
Yeah, like you
have
said,
this
like I said on the
conversation.
show last time, I just hopefully he'll get to go speak to somebody and, figure out what in his story was, real from the truth, and he be able to adjust that because, like I said, he was one of the ones that, when everything was said and then everybody was grown, everybody still speaking, everybody was,
Mm-hmm.
cordial, but he was one of the ones that was still the closest to my side of the family. So yeah, he do have some explaining to do, and yes, he do have some wounds he has to go address and make sure that they're coming from where they're coming from. And all I'm saying is that sometimes when you put things in the air, it comes out, it comes off a certain way.
All right. Hopefully, you'll have a conversation with him, and he could express to you how he felt, and growing up, and how he felt living in the household and all of that, and maybe you can see things, from his standpoint, and probably see eye to eye and understand what he was going through and what he had to cope with over the years. All right. Once again, I must say thank you so much for sharing, and I wish all the best. All right.
You too. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Sure. Have a blessed night.
You too. Bye bye.
Gary, what go on, my brother?
Well, go on, my boss.
Blessings.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, my point is that, all right, the young man, him definitely, I think the caller take it the wrong way. Yeah? Him never say anything bad about the lady because the lady was his escape, number one. Number two, the father looked like he was carrying some anger for him youth them from a long time. Like, cause what I want to say to a lot of man, them have a youth in a Jamaica. Them not there around the youth all these years till the youth reach 16 or 15. But when the youth come around them, at that time them want to put manners and put certain things when it done gone through the gate. And I think that was one of the main problem. And sometime when, cause remember the youth say, him start make some comments about every time the lady go up on the road, she carry him behind him and like him want him to be some girl or something like that. Something like that. I don't remember fully. And during the time the anger come out with the father because him want hit the youth or do what him do and do him do because 95% of where him say is true because she confirmed it herself. But the father can have some jealousy inside of him and him call the woman name like the woman that carry news to him about certain things and make the youth feel that way too. And things turn around and add up together and then it turn around and say, oh, she has said something or whatever. So you see, it was a big grievance, but I think the caller, the stepsister, she just angry because of the part with him, when he said about the mother, said the mother caused his sword and such. But I think she take it the wrong way. Yeah, because him talk so much good about the lady. Him talk a lot of good. So I think all the main situation is the father. He want put certain things when the ass done through the gate already. Because you can't have a child and you never run the child all these years. You know, listen to ears from Jamaica say, I do this and oh, you say, wait till when him come here, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And when the time come now, at that time you want to put discipline in him. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna have war in the house. That is the time when you have to try to say, boy, you know what? Me add with him now and try to put him on the right page and make him understand what right from what wrong. Because you can't say two bull can't reel in one pen. You understand me? So you have to just understand, say, boy, you reach a age, this is how I have to show you reality. But not go on like you go and lick up things and lick down man and lick down the youth and them something. It doesn't make sense. So there's some think that's how the problem go through and jealousy na go and when through him now go a road with the woman. Cause yeah, some father still saying, I remember through me have him look a problem differently and him care something there. You know, all of them little things that adds up. I don't know how you look into it, but I remember a point that you talk about a lot of things and him no lie, because she confirmed them. And who feels it knows. Because some of the things them she not around for see what go on. She don't know what go on. And every man, to every work where every man do, every man have a different complaint. How hard it is, how easy it is. It could have been better. It could be. So when the father have him down at the bottom of the down at the basement to do a kind of work and whatever, he must have him kind of used to it. You understand? So I think the father was the main point. I think he was taking out some things from the youth them too. And because nobody in them good sense, I go beat Pitney so in America with stick and kind of signal. Pitney just a play fight and him just go back for belt and beat them. Yeah, him possessed with something. As me write in the comments when the youth up on the phone, when the youth call in the night, the same father possessed.
You know, that's true, Gary, because she did mention that too, where she said, you know, she and the other sister was just playing and him come and think a fight them a fight and him beat them for that. You know,
and,
I mean,
come upstairs and look for them with belt and beat. Come on, him possess.
Yeah, true. She did mention that for true.
Yeah, him possess. So him have, as me tell him have an issue. Him have some issue with the kids and all and everything. And no matter what nobody want to say, the hiding food part with the key, I think it happened. But how it happened, people who might look on it in a different way. Yeah, you have a child might be going there and take out this and take out that. But on the next hand, some kind of spite situation kind of go on too. Because kids, you know, some simple little things where we look on and things the kids not really I look on it with stepbrother and stepsister. You're frightened to see the things where them look on and, oh, me not get that because me a stepbrother, or me not get that because me a stepsister. I say, them little thing they go on, you know. A lot of times, you know what I mean? But the way this the stepsister angry is because him say something about the mother. But as me say, she can't just jump on the part there alone. Because who feels it knows that, as me say, the father can be the one where I go on with them things and I make him comments and I so and bring all the lady name like just because through him not see the likes where she get from him, so him a try to push back things to make she look on the ugly side too and make things look bad that him can say something bad too. But you understand what I'm saying? Because I saw some fathers there, so you just can't. You can't look on, but to me, the father was just possessed, man.
Real.
Possessed.
All right, Gary. Big up yourself for your 2
cents,
my
brother. Blessings.
Much love. Blessings.
All right, cool. Much love.
All right, everybody. That right
everybody.
there is Gary. Gary not going away yet. Gary. I mean, Gary gone already. I'm not going to run a little joke with Gary. But anyway, that right there was Gary Logan. People who don't know him name is one of the big names on the Unstoppable show. You understand? Everybody know Gary name already. Now, Denise, thank you so much for that super chat contribution that just came in, Denise. It's totally appreciated. And as a matter of fact, it's been a while since me not big up none of my tip boss them. So big up to Denise. See that? Me can't even point away there. Anyway, right up top in one of them corner there, the tip boss them. I try point to it, but big up to Denise Lawrence. Denise is now the tip boss officially on the Unstoppable Live program. So everybody wanna big up the new tip boss. Denise holding the tip boss position. Alright. So listen. As we say, you know, this program is not about bashing anybody. Alright? It is not about tearing down people. And I must say that tonight's guest, she came on and she shared her version of things in a respectful way, because even though she spoke, you know, she didn't disrespect her stepbrother in any way. She never tried to tear him down in any way. You know, she only spoke on things as she knows it, right? So that's why I'm stressing the point to say there is multiple versions to every story. She has her version and the stepbrother has his version. He knows what he went through, you understand? And maybe the stepsister doesn't really know every single detail, you know, but she knows what she knows. All right, so that's why we're saying that we're not saying that she is lying or we're not saying that he is lying, but it's just two different versions of events. All right, so with that said, let's keep the ball rolling. All right, thank you to everybody who's tuning in tonight. Thank you to everybody who shared the program, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. I didn't stream to Instagram tonight because of the whole, you know, delay and glitching thing. I never want to start no later, but nonetheless, big up to everybody who is here. All right, remember, may I say once again, as soon as you come on the program, hit the like button. All right, and Facebook may have a problem with you because I nasty, you know, thumbs up or go up, you know, what, man, not deal with me, I don't go worry, you know. All right, I just sit down there and continue to press up the thumbs up button and just make it just a seal up our hearts or whatever you want to send up. Just continue send them up. All right, and YouTube, as me say, keep the likes going. Let me see how much likes they on YouTube so far. Let me see. And the number then I look too right, you know. Wait there. 283 likes. You know see all them thing there. You see all them thing there. That's not right, you know. That is not right at all. I don't like that. But anyways, as Flavia said, you know, Unstoppable, just tell them, just ask them. Say people hit the like button. You know, so that's what I'm gonna take Flavia's advice. Flavia said, Unstoppable, nobody get cross like Bounty Killer. Nobody get cross, angry, and miserable. Just say, people, hit the like button. So big up to Flavia Austin. Much love. Alright, now, I want to also big up to the people them who invite people to the show. You know, to the people them who tell people about the show. To the people them who say, listen, have you ever heard of Unstoppable? Right? I want to big up Uno. Because as I say all the time, you are the ones who make this program what it is. Alright? So I have to say big up to every single one of Uno. Every time you tell someone about the program goes a little bit further. Every time you invite someone to the program goes a little bit further. Every time someone that you know is going through a situation and you say to them, say, hey, you know what? I think you need to call Unstoppable and let this off your chest. The program goes a little bit further. So listen, word of mouth is the best promo. Alright, so big up to everybody who helps this program. Lord jeez, watch how the likes jump on YouTube in a split second. Big up on yourself over there on YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, or be to know. The likes just jump, whoosh, and gone over 300, but that's still not enough because we have over 500 people. But anyway, me I gonna be grateful and not ungrateful. Big up to everybody who hit the like button here. Alright, so thanks to the persons who have contributed to the show so far. I want to say a special thank you to none other than, alright, Denise Lawrence, who sent in a super chat contribution. Euphemia Spencer, thank you so much. Unstoppable Lewis, thank you so much for your super chat contribution. Venice, thank you so much for your super chat contribution. Sean Castle, big up yourself, thank you. Darky35, thank you for your contribution. Flavia Austin, thank you. And remember, no need to check out Flavia's juices. Tasty. Alright, Lola Lola, thank you so much. Kerisha, thank you so much. And Jacqueline Chung, thank you so much for your super chat contribution. Also, I want to say thank you to Lisa K for your Cash App contribution that you sent in. Also, Flavia sent in a ZELLE contribution, thank you. And Merville Maki sent in a PayPal contribution, thank you so much. Alright, and remember, before I end the stream, I'm going to say tonight's program is brought to you by Inner Circle Loans. And Inner Circle Loans will get you cash in a hurry. So if you're in the Bahamas and you need some loan, reach out to Inner Circle Loan at 242-814-5626, pardon, and they will get you cash in a hurry. Write down the number and reach out to Inner Circle and get some money. Alright, and also if you have your business and you want to be a sponsor to this show, you can reach out to it too, and we can work out a deal for you so that your show can be advertised on every single well, your show. Your business could be advertised on every single show. Alright? Big up yourself, everybody. Let's get the march outs going. If you know you have your badge beside your name right now, wait there, I lie. Somebody signed up earlier. Who signed up? Oh, Venice signed up. Big up yourself. Everybody on a big up Venice. Venice is the newest member of the Unstoppable officials. Alright, so welcome Venice. Thank you so much for signing up and getting your badge beside your name. Now Venice, you just signed up, so therefore you need to know how to march out. Venice, when I say it's your turn right now, Keisha Highly Best, thank you so much for that super chat. When I say march out time, Venice, all you need to do is go in the custom emoji section where only officials can find those emojis, and you need to send out your custom Jamaica flag. Alright, just like how you see Joy and Del Rosa send out them custom flag right now. Do that right now, Venice, and let's get the march out going. So marching out right now over here on YouTube is none other than we have Del Rose Holder marching out with a super VIP badge beside her name. Joy Blackwood, big up yourself, Joy. Joy is rocking a super VIP badge beside her name as well. And let me tell you something. Someone called me the other day and them say unstoppable. Let me tell you something. I love my badge beside my name because my badge make me stand out. And you see, anytime you reach to my name or you call my name, I feel so good. You understand? Because all people when know me say unstoppable, call out your name. You understand? And I say, yes, you know me a big shot on Unstoppable show. So, the person know themselves. Big up yourself. Alright? More of say big up also too. Marching out right now is none other than Lady B Unstoppable, and Lady B is rocking a super VIP badge beside her name. Scarlet Knight, good night to you. You're marching out with a golden VIP. If you Facebook, no worry, me soon come over the two no and big up on the march out. Alright, Wayne Morris is rolling out with a newcomer badge beside his name. No worry yourself, Wayne. You soon reach over to #1 fan. Alright. Here we go. Del Rose Holder is marching out and she's rocking a super VIP badge beside her name. Stush Pumpkin, love you, you see. Love you like cook soup. Big up yourself. Stush Pumpkin is rocking a super VIP badge beside her name. Alright, let's go. Tappers in the building, rocking a #1 fan badge. Big up yourself, Tappers. Here comes Trev Unstoppable, and Trev is rocking none other than a super VIP badge beside her name. Lilika is in the building, and Lilika is rocking a #1 fan badge. Oh yeah, man, that we are talking about. Alright. Joy, no worry yourself. You have my WhatsApp. Me and you we talk. Alright? Joy says, how can I add the big brand to my name, which is Unstoppable? Alright, so Joy wants to add Unstoppable to her name. Big up yourself. Alright, Don Thompson is rolling out, rocking a super VIP. Alright, then Gary Logan has a super VIP badge beside his name. Alright, am I missing anyone over there on YouTube? I don't think so. But for the time being, let me go over on Facebook and check out all the officials who marched out over here. Alright, and then we are going to look back again and check YouTube. Alright, remember, like I said, if you don't hear your name, don't say Unstoppable, I didn't hear my name. Just march out with the badge again. Alright, Tony Tough is rolling out, rocking his #1 fan badge beside his name. Big up yourself, Tony Tough. Alright, now let me check Facebook and see what go on. Trev, I said super VIP. What are you talking about, Trev? Alright, here comes Nadine over here on Facebook. Nadine Levy is rocking her badge beside her name. Big up yourself, Nadine. Marcia Flynn is rocking a badge as well. Blessings to you, Marcia. Kizzy Unstoppable is rocking a super VIP badge beside her name. Jacqueline Chung is rocking a super VIP badge as well. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, then we got none other than Roseanne Brooks rocking a badge over there on Facebook and on YouTube. So big up to Roseanne Brooks. Alright, here we got none other than Unapologetic Darnia. Hold on there, a Queen Darnia, that what her name? Unapologetic Darnia. Oh, you mean we not apologize? How happened to no? Is rocking her badge beside her name. Then we got none other than Lorian Lala Linton rocking a badge as well. Risa Raisa Unstoppable is rocking a #1 fan badge beside her name. Big up yourself, Raisa. And then we got none other than Shante. No, I lie. Shanali. I lie. Big up Shanali. Oh, Shanali. Big up yourself and... Oh, God. This is going to make me look bad. This is going to make me look bad, Shanali. Oh, Jesus. You know something? I nah do it until me remember. But Shanali, big up yourself. Alright. Maxine Saunders is rocking a badge beside her name as well. Big up yourself, Maxine. Alright. Then we got none other than Dwayne Randolph rocking a badge on Facebook and YouTube. Big up yourself, Dwayne. Alright. Carolee Flowers rocking a badge beside her name over there on Facebook. Thank you so much, Carolee. Alright. Princess, what you talking about? What is Princess? Somebody send Princess our bed for me now. Please and thank you. Alright. Terry Berry is rolling out, rocking a badge beside her name. Princess, you're gonna need to do me a favor. Somebody tell Princess what she need to do. Let me see who pay attention. Somebody tell Princess what she need to do. Alright. Is that all the Facebook officials right there? Princess said, answer me, I march out for mommy tonight. Alright then. The Irie daughter is marching out tonight. Alright, rocking a badge beside her name. Then we got none other than Natalia Unstoppable rocking her badge. And Janine Unstoppable rocking her badge as well. Alright. No man, I know that Princess for do. Princess, then say if you can't go your bed. I know that Princess for do. Or they leave Princess alone, but sure. Princess needs to sign up and get her badge beside her name. That's what Princess needs to do. Fly Girl Georgia is rocking a badge beside her name as well. Yeah, man, Jacqueline. I said Janine just now. Thank you so much, Jackie. All right. Then we got who else? It look like everybody that on Facebook. And then we got Lady Margaret rocking a #1 fan badge over there beside her name on YouTube. So big up to Lady Margaret. Paula Jadu Unstoppable rocking a #1 fan badge as well. And here comes Oral Blake rolling out in the last minute, rocking a super VIP badge beside his name. Alright. All of the Unstoppable officials, big up on yourself. Love the support because here I wanna make the show what it is. Uno support the program. By becoming an Unstoppable official, you are supporting the program. So big up yourself. Alright. Somebody tell Fly Girl for go to the back of the class with me, no Fly Girl. Please. Somebody tell Fly Girl go to the back of the class. Cause I don't understand what Fly Girl I say. Unstoppable, you didn't call my name. Somebody tell Fly Girl go to the back of the class. And Fly Girl, I'm gonna remind you like how I remind everybody else. Even if you think that I didn't mention your name, don't write you didn't call my name or I didn't hear my name. Just march out again. Alright? It's that simple. Alright? Don't write that. Just march out again. Alright? Yeah, man. Sure, what you mean? Of course. I'll if me sick Friday night, me there same way. Bathroom could have called me 10 times for the day, me there same way. Uno just would have to excuse me if me have to get up and run a couple times. Here comes Pauline Curlew rocking her badge beside her name. Alright, Sylvia Linton is rocking her badge beside her name. People, me I go tell you something about Lilika. Me I go tell you something about Lilika, right? Lilika a problem, you know. You don't know what's a Lilika a problem? Lilika coming like Sevilla in some ways. Lilika just like when time I call her name so much. So all the time I call her name, she march out all 5 times already. Lilika still want march out again. You don't know that already though? Because I'm quite sure a couple of you can confirm so on the ear me call Lilika name when she march out earlier, right? On the ear though. But Lilika Unstoppable is marching out again. Again and again and again. Here comes Negrita Unstoppable rocking her badge beside her name. And also Sharon Hansen is in the building rocking her badge beside her name. Alright, did I miss anybody? Is that everybody? Everybody get them shout out. All the officials get them shout out. Big up to everybody who march out. Alright. Alright, and alright. So Fly Girl, big up yourself. Much love to you. Alright. All of the viewers who are here right now, if you haven't signed up and gotten your badge beside your name, try to sign up and make sure you get your badge, because you want to be an Unstoppable official. And I'm going to tell you this. We have an exclusive show coming up soon. It will be announced. Soon and very soon, it will be announced. Alright? So remember, the only way you get to hear the exclusives is by being an Unstoppable official. And remember the last time when I shared an exclusive, persons who weren't officials were able to hear the show? This time, me get it figured out. So that will never happen again. That will never happen again. Alright? Yeah, man, I big up Carolee, man. So big up Carolee. Carolee is a new member. Oh, alright. Carolee, sign up new. Alright. Big up yourself, Carolee, for that sign up. Totally appreciate it. And Facebook, if you are there and you don't know how to sign up, all you have to do is click where you see it says become a supporter, and you will get a badge. Joy, of course, there's a higher badge than Super VIP. There are other badges to come. Alright, I think the next badge is, I think Super VIP is after you've been an official for 6 months, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And then there is another badge after you've been an official for a year, then your badge will change again. So soon and very soon, we see who is going to change next and show the other badge. And I'm actually, you know something? I think I'm going to make this interesting. You know why I'm going to make this interesting? I think the first person to switch from Super VIP to whatever the next badge is, I am going to give that person $50. The first person that I see switch from Super VIP to whatever the next badge is, I am going to give that person $50. Oh, that's all. But that's how I give that money the $50. So whoever it is, I don't know who it's going to be, but the very first person that on whichever night they come on and that badge change from Super VIP to the next badge after Super VIP, I'm going to give away $50 to that person. Don't know who it's going to be, but let's just hope at you. Now to the persons who have newcomer badge and number one fan badge and golden VIP badge, just sad that uno no another competition there. It's just the Super VIPs. Alright, Roseanne Brooks, you want your Unstoppable beside your name? Oh, you mean? Definitely. Big up to everybody who have the Unstoppable pan them name, because remember, like I said, Unstoppable is a brand, not just a name. Alright, so if you don't have the Unstoppable beside your name, you need to make sure so you get it. Tafari said $500. No worry yourself, Tafari. Soon and very soon, me I go just come one day like a mad smaddy and just say, yeah, me. Tonight, me I give you $500. Without hesitation. No worry yourself, Tafari. One night to come. Alright? Me I go just come and say, tonight, me I give you $500. Well, actually, I did that. Well, it wasn't 5. I gave away 300. Yeah. It wasn't 5. I gave away $300 on a show before. In one night. Yeah. So, Joy says, I don't really need the 50. I just want my badge. Want my badge go higher. No, see, Joy, you have to understand, it's not about the need, It's just about fun. You don't realize I like to do fun things, Joy. I like to make things interesting. You understand? So, me just like to give back. Because you give to me, so I like to give back too. You understand? Like, when you come on and you super chat, see, like for example, see there, tonight you come on, you give a little super chat. You understand? So, me can come in every night and every other night or every whenever I come and me just give back something, man. You understand? And VV says give away merch. Somebody tell VV that I've already done that now. Where VV was? Where was VV when I was giving away merch? Somebody tell me. somebody tell VV I've already done that day. There is not much that I haven't already done, VV. Yeah, no. Yeah. You know that's a good idea, Gary. Gary, that is actually a good idea. Gary says that the $500 giveaway should be when we go on the Unstoppable cruise after Corona. But it's not going to be a cruise, though. It is going to be, well, Andy, maybe I should, know. I'm going to think about that, Gary. But, Gary, that's actually a good idea. I may give away a $500 prize, to the first person who buy them ticket. You never know. I may just do it that way there. But I might just say, you know what? To the first, no, that wouldn't make sense. If I say to the first person who go buy them ticket would have win $500. Maybe I should have say, I go fine tune it a little more. But I like the idea there, Gary. Alright? So people, remember like I said, no, I don't think it's going to be a cruise, Tush Pumpkin. But remember, like I said, after this whole COVID thing pass and things get back to normal, we are going to be, where you say VV fell asleep on the couch that night. Alright, so the Unstoppable link up is going to happen. No matter what, it is going to happen, right? But we just need this whole COVID thing to pass, and then it is going to be in motion where we're planning that, alright? So everybody can know, say, when that time comes, I don't know, worry on yourself. When the time comes, me I go give everybody at least 8 to 10 months. At least 8 to 10 months to buy on a ticket. So if the show, if the event is going to be planned for, let's say, November, me I tell you no from January, say, ticket sales start now. You can go, yes, this, around this, so go order on a ticket, purchase on the ticket, and make sure you prepare for November when the big event, Unstoppable link up, going to happen. You understand? Yeah, man, believe me. No, Gary, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a giveaway on the show. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer, I'm going to do like a raffle, and every ticket is going to have a number on the back of it, right? So you never know, I may do where me say, if your number call at the night of the event, you may win $2 grand or whatever the prize may be. You understand? That sounds better, right, people? Wanna talk to me? Wanna like the idea there? Where every number has a ticket. Every ticket has a number. And we do the raffle. And we pull out the number, the ticket, and call off the number. If you're not there, too bad. If you buy your ticket and not show up, too bad, and your number call, we just move on to the next person. Or if you lost your ticket or whatever, But wanna like the idea there? That sounds better, right? Yeah, man, do a raffle. Alright, Grace says yes. Alright, Risa says yes. Yeah, man, definitely. So the Unstoppable link up definitely I go on. Because on the night of the show, I think I may give away like $2 grand. Yeah, that sound good. Yeah, when I call the raffle ticket number, so you can imagine you buy the ticket for whatever the cost is going to be, and you come at the event and win $2 grand the night. Jesus Christ. You see me? That's your whole ticket money you win back, plus your ticket, your plane fare ticket, plus hotel accommodation money. You win back everything. Alright, so remember, look forward to the big Unstoppable event when the time comes. Alright, because it's going to be great. And like I said, I am going to make sure that I have somebody there who everybody will be glad is there. I'm not sure if I can pay him, but I go try. And the person that I'm going to seek out to be there will be Berries. I go try my hardest to see if I can get Berries. But if I'm not Berries, I go try somebody close to him. But I know no found would I love for Berries. they at the event. You understand what I say? Real talk. Negrita says, when we reach the bridge, they will cross it unstoppable. Better ideas might come up. No, man, I like the idea, yeah, Negrita. I like this idea, you know? So definitely, like I said, Beres is the person I have in mind. If I can get Beres to come at the show that night there and perform, I'm definitely going to try and book him. But I don't know Beres not cheap. I don't know that. You understand? Oh no, Beres not cheap. So I have to go ching 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 and roll out that moolah. You understand? And get it going and make sure so every time Beres say, "Here what Mr. Unstoppable." You know, so for a show like that, I will charge at least about, 20,000 USR, 25,000 USR. You know, me can't tell the man say, boy, Beres, so me can't pay that. Me have to go pay the man in money. You understand? Yeah, and for all who might have say right now, say, Beres not charge that much. hey. You better think again. Let me tell you something. Oh God, man, Stush Pumpkin, you're wicked to me. Stush Pumpkin, you're wicked to me. People, Stush Pumpkin say she want Bojo. You see how Stush Pumpkin wicked to me? You see how Stush Pumpkin wicked to me? Oh God. Where you think me can find Bojo money from, Stush Pumpkin and Roseanne? Where you think me can find Bojo money from? If me say Beres may charge 20 to 25, what you think Bojo are gonna charge? Think about it. Larges. Think about it. You understand? But like I said, those are the figures that these artists charge. Alright, because I can remember I was putting on an event couple of years ago. And me reach out to Kolonji. And me say, Kolonji, man say 20 grand. And that not include accommodation yet. And that not include plane fare yet. And that not include maybe youths them behind me yet. You understand? So 20 grand was just for the artist. And then me have to get accommodation. And then me have to buy a ticket for the whole of the entourage. You understand? And then, boy, me I tell you. So I want to see what me I talk about. But yeah, man, definitely, I'm going to definitely be seeking out a good artist to be there on the night so that everybody will enjoy the program, enjoy the night. And also, yeah, man, Candice, the meet and greet me I talk about, it will be definitely an awesome night. You understand? When everybody link up and have fun and, whole heap of eatings and drinkings and dancing and, that's what we are talking about. Dance all night. Oh, you mean? You see it? Roseanne, more than likely it will be in Jamaica. Because the reason why I've settled with Jamaica, not every Jamaican is going to be able to travel outside Jamaica. But whoever is in other countries can plan to go to Jamaica. You get what I say? So I think Jamaica would be the best point where everybody can meet up. You understand? So that's why I've settled with Jamaica. So, and that's why I'm giving everybody enough time. So like I said, if I plan the event to be in November or December or whenever, I will start announcing it from like January, so everybody will know to start planning for that specific time. So everybody can request them vacation from work. Everybody can start drop them $1 in a one little saving pan. You understand? And prepare for the show. So it's not like I'm going to just throw it on people, sudden. I'm going to give everybody enough time to prepare for it. Alright? It's that simple. Yeah. So because believe me, I know everybody want to meet. Me know Kizzy want to meet Sean and Sean. and Dwayne want to meet Everybody want to meet somebody. And that's what I say. And we make the thing go on. Yeah, man. Roseanne, definitely next year, if COVID allows, if this thing pass and people now forget things pushing at them nose and them thing there, yeah, then it will be planned for next year. Jacqueline say, welcome to the illegal aliens. Well, you know, people who can't fly, well, we'll just have to miss the event and probably watch it on DVD, which will probably be sold. Because when people say, Unstoppable, I want to see how the party go, I say, all right, then we have it on DVDs, and you can make your purchase at this such and such place. Go get the DVD and watch it. All right? Yeah, but Tush Pumpkin, that's what I'm saying. Not everybody may be able to travel, but those who can definitely will want to be there. Queen Dania really thinks that me have one big stash somewhere, you know. Dania, you need to tell me how you hear about me, you know. Sure, Dania said, oh Jay, you can have two parties, one at New York and one at Jamaica, because some people can't travel outside of America. Dania hear something about me. Somebody tell me how Dania hear, no? Somebody tell me how Dania hear. Dania must hear which part me stash the money. Dania must hear which part me stash the big whack of money. You see me? But people, anyway, I feel like I've been here too long now. Let me see how long now me there talk. 2 hours and 29 seconds. We are too long and it's time for me to go. Alright, so people, thank you once again. It's always fun. You know, if you haven't checked out the merch store as yet, please go on over to the merch store and get your merch, because, you know, the show definitely needs the support in every way possible. Alright, so if you can support the program, definitely go over and check out the merch store and get your merch if you haven't done so as yet. Alright, it's... So you don't know I'm jealous, right? I'm a very jealous creature, you know. Who know that about me? I am a very, very jealous creature. Right? And I want to understand, how is it that I'm here looking at the chat and I'm watching the comments on Facebook and I'm watching the comments on YouTube? And the whole time I'm watching the comments on Facebook and YouTube, you know, see not one somebody say Unstoppable, I want to meet you. Can't wait to meet you. I see everybody in the comment section. I want to meet Sean. I want to meet Sean. I want to meet Sean. I'm a very jealous creature. Me and Uno here. Me and Uno.
Feel the music. 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 Feel the music, way. Feel the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way. Way. Feel the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way. This music got me feeling like them way up high, sipping martinis and blue slushes with umbrellas up high. I like dancing, you like dancing? Put my feet up